We'll be practicing English today through one of the most powerful stories in history. A story about darkness, failure, and the fire of human belief. Just give me your attention for a few minutes and I promise you will feel something. Because this story is not just about electricity. It's about pain. It's about never giving up. It's about you. Have you ever tried something again and again and still failed? Have you ever wanted to quit because nothing worked? Well, imagine this. You try once, you fail. You try again, you fail. You try 100 times, 200 times, 500 times. People laugh. Money disappears. Your team wants to quit. Your hands are shaking. Your heart is tired. But you say, let's try one more time. That was Thomas Edison. He failed more than 1,000 times while trying to create one invention, the electric light bulb. Yes, the thing you turn on with a switch today, the thing that lights up cities was once a crazy dream. And everyone said it was impossible. But Edison didn't believe them. He believed in the future. He believed in his dream. And most of all, he believed in himself. So this is not just a science story. This is a life story. A story of obsession, belief, and the long walk through darkness to find one small light. Welcome to Learn English with Stories 365. Now sit back, open your heart, and feel every word. Because from here, we go deep. Part 1. The Problem of Darkness. Let's go back. Back to a time before electricity. It is the year 1878. The world is still in the dark. At night, the streets are lit with gas lamps. They flicker. They smell. They explode. Inside homes, people burn candles or oil lamps. They are dangerous, expensive, dirty. Fires happen often. Children die from accidents. Businesses close early because it is too dark to work. The world is quiet, but not safe. And then one man speaks. I will make a new kind of light, he says. A light that is cheap. A light that is safe. A light that every home in the world can use. People laugh at him. Who are you to change the world, they say. But this man is serious. He does not smile. His name is Thomas Edison. He is 31 years old. He already has many inventions. But this one is different. I will create electric light, he says. Even scientists say it's impossible. They say electric light is too dangerous. They say it will never be cheap. They say it can't be done. But Edison is not listening. He doesn't care about the rules. He doesn't care what others think. He only cares about one thing, the dream. And what is the dream? To bring light to every home, to end darkness, to light up the world. And so he begins. No roadmap, no guide, no one to follow, only the darkness, and a dream so bright, it hurts to look at it. He says to his team, we will not stop. Not after 10 tries, not after 100, not after 1,000 hours. We will keep going until the world lights up. Was he a genius? Was he a fool? Or was he something even more powerful, a believer? And believers don't stop. Part 2, Menlo Park. The Crazy Lab. Thomas Edison did not work alone. He built a lab, not a small lab, a big, noisy, chaotic lab, in a place called Menlo Park. He filled it with wires, tools, glass, and machines, and he filled it with people, young men, bright minds, hard workers, dreamers like him. They called it the Invention Factory. They worked all day. They worked all night. Sometimes they slept on the floor. Sometimes they forgot to eat. There were no weekends, no holidays, only one goal: make a light bulb that works, a light bulb that can last, a light bulb that can change the world. The problem: nothing worked. They tried glass bulbs. The glass broke. They tried wires. The wires melted. They tried paper. It burned in seconds. Every day brought a new test. Every night brought a new failure. But Edison never shouted. He never cried. He smiled and said, "Now we know what doesn't work." One worker said, "We have tried 100 things." Edison replied, "Good. Now we are 100 steps closer." They tested bamboo, cotton, hair, grass, even the beard of a worker. Yes, a real human beard. They would laugh, then try again. They kept a notebook. In it, they wrote every test, every result, good or bad. Edison believed in learning. Learning from every mistake. Learning from every spark. Learning from failure. Menlo Park was not a normal lab. It was a war zone, a battlefield of ideas. Light bulbs exploded. Wires caught fire. Tools broke. But no one left. Why? Because Edison made them believe. Believe in the impossible. He walked around the lab late at night, his eyes wide open, his coat full of burn marks. He whispered, "We are close. I can feel it." How close, no one knew, but they kept going. Test after test, night after night. They were not chasing light. They were chasing hope. Part 3, 100 experiments. No success. Weeks passed, then months. They had tested over 100 different materials, and still, the light bulb did not work. It would glow for a few seconds, then die. Sometimes it exploded. Sometimes it burned. Sometimes it did nothing at all. The team was exhausted. Their eyes were red. Their hands were shaking. The lab smelled like smoke and metal and failure. People outside the lab began to talk. "Edison has gone mad," they said. "He's wasting time, wasting money. He's chasing a fantasy." Newspapers called him a clown. Scientists said he didn't understand electricity. Friends told him to stop. Investors stopped calling. Even some of his workers wanted to quit. One night, a young assistant said, "Mr. Edison, maybe it's time to give up." Edison looked at him. His face was calm. His voice was soft. "Give up," he said. "We are learning. Every day we fail, we learn. That is not giving up. That is growing." The assistant asked, "But how many more times must we fail?" Edison smiled. As many times as it takes. They worked through rain. They worked through snow. They stayed inside the lab for days. They ate cold food. They wore the same clothes. But they kept working, because Edison kept believing. He told his team, "We are not looking for magic. We are looking for the truth. Somewhere there is a material that can glow without burning, and we will find it." One by one he tested everything he could find. Cardboard, straw, wood, thread, hair from animals, plant fibers from the jungle. Still nothing worked. But he did not stop, and every time the light went out, he lit a new fire inside himself. The world saw failure, but Edison saw direction. He said, "Now we know one more way that doesn't work." So they tested number 101, then 102, then 103, and still, they were just getting started. Part 4, 500, 600, 700. Still no light. The numbers kept rising. 200 tests, 300 tests, 400 tests. Still the light bulb failed. Some lasted a few seconds. Others didn't glow at all. The team was tired. The money was almost gone. The public had lost interest. Even newspapers stopped writing about Edison. To them, it was over. A failed dream. A silent lab. A man too stubborn to quit. But inside Menlo Park, something was still burning. Not the bulb, but the will. By test number 500, the lab looked like a battlefield. Broken glass on the floor, burn marks on the tables, tools everywhere, wires like spider webs. And still Edison kept going. He barely slept. Some nights he worked until his eyes closed by themselves. His hands were full of cuts. His shoes were worn out. His coat smelled of smoke. But when someone asked, "Are you okay?" he just smiled and said, "We're getting closer." Then came test 600, then 700. By now, some workers had quit. Others stayed only because they couldn't leave him. They didn't believe in the invention. They believed in Edison. They believed in his fire. But even Edison felt the weight. He was losing weight, losing strength, and maybe losing time. One night he stood in the dark lab alone. Everyone had gone home. His body was tired. His head was full of noise. But he whispered to himself, "One more test." That test failed too, but something had changed. He didn't cry. He didn't break anything. He just sat down quietly. And then he wrote in his notebook, "We are now at 722 failures." But next to it, he wrote a second sentence. "We are also 722 steps closer." That's how he saw it. Not 722 problems, 722 lessons. Was he crazy? Or was he simply the only one still brave enough to keep walking in the dark? Part 5. The Turning Point. Then came test number 1, sours. Some say it was more. Maybe 100, maybe 10,000. No one knows the exact number. But one thing is clear. Thomas Edison refused to stop. And that refusal led him to something new. One day he received a small box. Inside it was a piece of black bamboo. Burned bamboo. Carbonized. It came from Japan. A friend had sent it. Edison looked at it, held it up to the light, turned it in his fingers. He said quietly, "This might work." He told his team, "Prepare the bulb. Clean the wires. We try again tonight." That night the lab was silent. No one spoke. No one moved. The air felt heavy. Edison placed the bamboo inside the bulb. He connected the wires, slowly, carefully. He closed the glass. "Ready," he whispered. They turned on the power. The bulb flickered. Everyone held their breath. The bulb glowed. 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It didn't die. It didn't explode. It burned with a soft, warm light. And then it kept burning. 1 hour, 2 hours, 13 hours. The team stared. Some had tears in their eyes. One assistant whispered, "We did it." Edison did not cheer. He did not cry. He simply nodded and said, "Now we begin." That moment changed everything. After more than 1,000 failures, after all the laughter, all the rejection, all the pain, the light stayed on. It was no longer just an idea. It was real. The darkness had finally lost. Part 6. The light that changed the world. The news spread fast. "Edison creates electric light," read the headlines. Scientists who once mocked him now stayed silent. Investors who walked away came running back. Reporters arrived at Menlo Park with cameras and notebooks. But Edison didn't stop to celebrate. He said, "We have a working light. Now we must bring it to the world." He and his team began building better bulbs, stronger glass, safer wires, longer-lasting filaments. They worked day and night. Again, this time not to find the answer, but to share it. Soon, they were ready. The first public demonstration took place in New York City. People gathered in the streets. Children sat on shoulders. Horses stopped in the road. Everyone was waiting. It was dark, cold, silent. Then Edison gave the signal. With one switch, the lights turned on. The street filled with golden light. People gasped. Some cried. Some dropped to their knees. One old man whispered, "It's like magic." But it wasn't magic. It was hard work, failure, courage, and a dream that refused to die. From that moment, everything changed. Cities began to light up. Homes became safer. Factories worked longer. Life became brighter, easier, better, and all of it. Because one man did not stop after 1,000 failures. Thomas Edison had not just invented a bulb. He had invented belief. The kind of belief that says, "Yes, I failed, but I am not finished." And when you believe like that, the world starts to glow. Part 7. The Lesson of 1,000 Failures. Years later, a reporter asked Edison, "How did it feel to fail 1,000 times?" Edison smiled. His eyes were tired but full of light. He said, "I didn't fail 1,000 times." The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps. That was his secret. He didn't see failure as the end. He saw it as the path, the training, the teacher. Every broken bulb was a lesson. Every burned wire was a clue. Every sleepless night was a step forward. He once told his team, "Many people stop when they are just one step away, but not us. We go until the light comes on." And that's what he did. He changed the world not because he was the smartest, not because he was the richest, but because he believed longer than anyone else. He held on when others let go. Thomas Edison went on to create over 1,000 inventions: the phonograph, the movie camera, the electric power grid. His name became known in every corner of the world. But ask people today what he is remembered for, and they will say one thing: the light bulb. Why? Because it was more than science. It was a symbol of hope, of trying again, of not giving up. Dear learner, maybe you've failed. Maybe you've heard no too many times. Maybe you feel like quitting. But what if you are just one step away? What if your next try is the one that lights everything up? What if your story is just beginning? Conclusion: your light bulb moment. So now you know the story. The man who failed again and again, but still believed. The man who gave us light by walking through darkness. The man who showed the world what is possible when you refuse to quit. Thomas Edison once said, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." That means dreams are not enough. You must work. You must sweat. You must keep going even when the world tells you to stop. That is what he did. And that is what you can do too. Maybe you are learning English, and it feels hard. You forget words. You make mistakes. You feel embarrassed. But that is not failure. That is learning. That is your process. That is your journey. Every word you learn is a small step. Every mistake you make is a step forward. Every time you try again, you are closer. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be fast. You only need to keep moving, just like Edison. So now I ask you, dear friend, what is your light bulb? What is the thing you want to build or create or change? And are you willing to fail 1,000 times to make it real? Because sometimes the only thing between failure and history is the decision to try one more time. This is Learn English with Stories 365. One story, one lesson, one powerful idea at a time. Now it's your turn. What will you light up